Hello, my dear students. Welcome. I know your exams are just around the corner and you're all working so hard. So let's just relax for a few minutes and do a super quick revision of a very important chapter, manufacturing industries. I promise by the end of this, all your doubts will be cleared. Chalo, let's begin.
So, you remember Harish from your textbook, right? Just imagine him standing in a busy Diwali market. All around him are beautiful clothes, shoes, so much sugar for sweets, and thousands of diyas. And he starts wondering, how are all these things made? Where do they come from? Well, that's exactly the question this chapter answers.
So here's our plan for today, and we'll do it fatafat. First, we'll understand the simple meaning of manufacturing. Then, why it's so important for our country. We'll play a quick game to classify industries, look at some key examples, touch upon the problem of pollution, and finally, do a quick revision for the exam. Stick with me, and we'll finish this chapter in no time.
Okay, first things first. Let's tackle this big word, manufacturing. It might sound complicated, but I promise you, the idea behind it is super simple.
So what is it? Simply put, manufacturing is like magic. It's the process of taking some raw material, like sugarcane from a farm, and turning it into something much more valuable, like sugar, or taking wood from a tree and making paper out of it. The key thing is that we're producing these goods in large quantities and adding value. A piece of wood is useful, but a book made from its paper is much more valuable, right? That's manufacturing.
So now that we know what manufacturing is, the next big question is, why should we care? Why does everyone say that industry is the backbone of our economy? Let's find out.
Think of the manufacturing sector as a superstar. First, it helps our farmers by giving them modern tools like tractors and pumps. Second, it creates lakhs and lakhs of jobs, which helps reduce poverty. Third, when we sell our manufactured goods to other countries, we earn valuable foreign exchange. All this makes our country stronger and more self-reliant. And always remember this line for your exam. Agriculture and industry go hand in hand. They both need each other to grow.
Okay, now there are so many different industries, right? Cotton, steel, cement. It can get a little confusing. But don't worry, to make it easy, we'll just classify them. Think of it like a simple sorting game.
Our first sorting rule is very simple. We just ask the question, where do the raw materials for this industry come from? And pay attention, because this is a very common question in exams. It's very easy. On one hand, you have agro-based industries. The name itself tells you, agro from agriculture. So they use things that come from farms, like cotton to make clothes or sugar to make sugar. On the other hand, you have mineral-based industries. They use minerals that are dug out of the earth, like iron ore to make steel. See? One from the farm, one from the mine. Simple.
All right, another easy way to sort industries is to ask, who is the owner? Who owns the factory? Let's see the different types.
Look at this simple table. First is the public sector. Public means it's for the people, so it's owned by the government. Think of big companies like SAIL or BHEL. Then there's the private sector, owned by individuals or families, like Tisco by the Tatas or Bajaj. Joint sector is just a partnership, a team of government and private individuals. And my favorite is the cooperative sector, where the workers and the producers are the owners themselves, like the sugar mills in Maharashtra, where farmers are the joint owners. How amazing is that?
Okay, enough of theory now. Let's see some real action. We'll take a quick look at two of our most important industries and see how they turn something raw into something amazing.
Let's follow the journey of the t-shirt you might be wearing. Look here. It starts as a simple raw fiber, just a puff of cotton, that gets spun into yarn or thread. Then the yarn is woven to make fabric. The fabric is then dyed and finished, and finally stitched into a garment. Did you notice? At every single step, value is being added. This is called the value chain.
And that reminds me, you've all seen photos of Mahatma Gandhi with his charkha. Why was he so focused on spinning yarn and weaving khadi? Well, it was a powerful symbol of self-reliance, of Swadeshi. It was a way to tell everyone that we can make our own things, and this gave work and dignity to millions of people right in their own villages.
Now for something really strong, steel. Making steel is like following a recipe. You take your ingredients, iron ore, coke and coal, and limestone. You put them all into a giant oven called a blast furnace. It gets incredibly hot inside, and everything melts. This hot liquid metal is then processed to remove impurities. And finally, we get the strong steel that is used to build everything from a small pin to huge bridges.
Now, we know that industries are great for our country's growth, but we also have to talk about the dark side. With all this development comes a very serious problem, and that is pollution.
Industries sadly cause four main types of pollution. There's air pollution from the smoke, water pollution when harmful chemicals are released into our rivers, land pollution from dumping waste, and even noise pollution from the loud sounds of machines. We must remember that progress should not come at the cost of our beautiful planet.
But don't worry, there is hope. We can control this pollution. For example, we can treat the dirty industrial water in 3 steps. First is primary treatment, which is like using a big filter to remove the solid waste. Second is secondary treatment, where we use good bacteria to clean the water. And the third is tertiary treatment, which makes the water clean enough to be recycled and used again.
Wow, you've been listening so well. Now for the fun part. Let's do a very quick quiz to check what we've learned. Don't be nervous, it's just to boost your confidence. Ready? Let's go.
Okay, here's your first question. Which one of the following industries uses bauxite as a raw material? Is it aluminum, cement, paper, or steel? Think carefully. We talked about mineral-based industries.
And the correct answer is A, aluminum smelting. Excellent. If you got that right, give yourself a pat on the back. Just remember, bauxite is the main ore for aluminum.
All right, one last question, and this one is very easy. Which industry makes our telephones, computers, and all those gadgets we love? Take a look at the options on your screen.
Yes, the answer is, of course, B, electronic industry. Fantastic. See, you know all the answers. I am so proud of you for paying so much attention. You've really understood this chapter well.
And just like that, we have revised the entire chapter. You have done a wonderful job today. Please take this confidence with you to your exam hall. Don't be afraid at all. You have prepared well, and you are going to do great. All the very best from me.